Mayor Adams is set to appear in court today to be arraigned on bribery and fraud charges.
Governor Kathy Hochul could remove him from office, but has decided not to step down, at least for now. So in a statement, she says she is giving the mayor a couple of days to determine the best path forward. This morning, we are joined by Fairleigh Dickinson University political professor Dan Cassino. He's going to walk us through this unprecedented moment in New York City history. So good morning to you, Dan. Thanks, as always, for being with us.
Good morning.
All right, so let's take a look at this. 5 counts of bribery, wire fraud, and soliciting illegal campaign contributions. So at this point, Mayor Adams, he's very adamant. He didn't do anything wrong. That's what he says. So you went through the 57 pages of that indictment, and we're talking about nearly a decade worth of allegations. What's your take right now?
So what's really surprising is the extent to which this started back when he was Brooklyn Borough president. So this wasn't just a plot to try and bribe Mayor Adams. This goes back years and years well beforehand. And the Turkish government and through Turkish Airlines was giving him free and heavily discounted airfares and hotel stays in Istanbul, and basically flying him all over the world business class. I mean, I've taken those flights, business class flights on Turkish Airlines from New York to Istanbul, generally about $10,000 to $20,000 per flight, and he was being charged like $50. The text messages seem very damning. That he knew that this was illegal and thought no one was going to catch him and agreed to delete all the messages. And there was a quid pro quo, at least according to the allegations, mostly having to do with a Turkish consulate center that the president of Turkey, Erdogan, wanted built. It was built, but the fire department said this isn't safe to occupy, and Erdogan pushed it through and made sure that they got the permit anyway, apparently threatening people with their jobs if the permit wasn't given. So the federal government has redefined what bribery is. So there basically has to be an explicit quid pro quo. But these text messages certainly look like Mayor Adams has met that standard.
What would you say is his best path forward to fight this? Politically, this is going to put him on the back pedal to regain the trust of New Yorkers, right?
Well, it's not clear how much New Yorkers worry about something like this. This is basically a campaign contributions scandal. This is, the bribery, but, they were giving him free flights. The question is, to what extent do New Yorkers think, yeah, this is part of it? And I think if people were happier with Eric Adams in general, if his approval ratings were high, hurt him that much. The biggest problem right now is he already wasn't doing that well politically. And on top of it, he's now looking at arraignment. He's looking at prison. He's looking at potential jail time. This is a real problem. I don't know how you run the city. I actually had to look back in the history books. I was very surprised to find that this is the first time we've had a sitting mayor indicted, not because they haven't been investigated in the past, because when investigations got close, previous mayors simply resigned.
Very quickly, Dan, would you say that the alleged cover-up here is a bigger issue than what he's being accused of?
Well, no. I mean, the cover-up is bad, and what the cover-up shows is knowledge that he was doing something wrong. It shows mens rea, which is an important part for any criminal prosecution. But the underlying crimes would be enough, certainly, to get you in a lot of trouble, even if you hadn't been covering them up.
You read all the allegations. Has any other mayor in New York City history ever been accused of anything even close to this?
No, all the bribery scandals we've had in the past have been local, homegrown bribery scandals. People from other boroughs, bribing. We've never really had this sort of foreign influence on a New York City mayor before.
So Governor Kathy Hochul, she's a very close ally of the mayor. After reading the indictment, this is what she had to say. Do we have that sound? Actually, we'll read it here. The indictment is the latest in a disturbing pattern of events. Those of us who have chosen a career in elected office know that we're held to a higher standard. She says it's now up to Mayor Adams to show the city that he is able to lead in that matter. I expect the mayor to take the next few days to review the situation and find an appropriate path forward. What do you think that the governor is doing here? She's in a kind of a prickly situation here on what, if she decides to tell him or remove him from office, how this could even affect her and the Democratic Party, really.
Yeah, so this is the governor's in a difficult position because Mayor Adams' strongest supporters, black and brown working class people in New York, are really also some of her strongest supporters. She's been incredibly loyal to Eric Adams in the past. And so the fear is if she forces him out, she could alienate those voters. And she's not doing that well politically herself. I mean, her approval rating is in the 30s right now. So what I read in that was actually a veiled threat almost. I'm going to give you a couple days to think about this. basically, don't make me remove you. You quit in the next couple days for the good of the city and the party without putting everyone through this.
And Dan, we know that if the governor does act to remove Mayor Adams, the public advocate, Jumaane Williams, would step in as mayor and act quickly to set an election date. Which candidates can take part in that special election if it were to happen?
This would be a free-for-all. We already know there's 4 or 5 people who said they were going to run against Eric Adams in the next election. I imagine all of them will. We're also hearing that Andrew Cuomo, former governor, is thinking about throwing his hat in the ring here as well. This is going to be a free-for-all. You're going to have everybody seeing this as an opportunity to jump in and trying to fight over that constituents that Eric Adams had won over in the past.
We shall wait and see. Dan Cassino, thanks again for being with us this morning.
Always a pleasure.